If you're in southern India, you have absolutely felt it. The abrupt shift. Just a few days ago, the monsoon felt active, and now it's gone dry. So, what's really going on? What is shutting down the northeast monsoon so suddenly? In this explainer, we're going to break down the surprising reasons for this dry spell, and of course, look at when the rain might finally return. Okay, so here's how we're going to piece this whole puzzle together. First up, we'll look at the sudden dramatic changes happening on the ground. Then, we're going to zoom way out to see the big global forces that are really pulling the strings. After that, we'll bring it right back home to the local forecast for today, the next few days, and the next 2 weeks. And finally, we'll get into a question I know you've probably asked. Why on earth do these forecasts keep changing?
All right, let's get right into it. First, we have to tackle the mystery that has everyone talking. This sudden, pretty dramatic shift from a wet pattern to a dry one.
This really is the core question, isn't it? We went from what felt like an active monsoon to this surprising dry spell, and it felt like it happened overnight. Well, it turns out there's a two-part atmospheric explanation for this very sharp turnaround. So here are the two immediate culprits. First, a weak low-pressure system that should be bringing us rain is just fizzling out south of Sri Lanka, and at the exact same time, these dry continental winds are pushing down from the north, basically putting a lid on any moisture over Tamil Nadu. But you know what? These are just the local symptoms of a much, much bigger global story. So to find the real source of our dry spell, we actually have to look thousands of kilometers away. We have to look at the major global systems that are calling the shots right now. You know, in meteorology, it's almost never just one thing. And right now, we are looking at a super complex global puzzle. We've got multiple storm systems churning away near Indonesia and Thailand, a huge atmospheric wave causing disruptions, and other key global patterns that are just really weak. It's basically a traffic jam in the atmosphere. Now, you might see a term like equatorial Rossby wave and think, whoa, that sounds complicated. But the idea behind it is actually pretty simple. Just imagine a giant, slow-moving ripple in the atmosphere that circles the entire equator. As this massive wave passes by, it messes with normal weather patterns, and right now, it's a big part of the chaos. So here's the crucial point, the real takeaway from all this global stuff. Think of it like a giant atmospheric tug-of-war for moisture. All those systems we just saw, the circulations over Indonesia, that big wave, they are currently stronger than our monsoon. They are literally pulling all the available moisture away from our region and redirecting it south, towards places like Australia. Plain and simple, right now, we're losing the tug-of-war. Okay, so the monsoon is losing that global tug-of-war. What does that actually mean for us on the ground right now? Let's take a look at the rain forecast for the next 24 hours.
And you can see right away just how localized any rain chances are. We're talking about only a few coastal and southern districts that have even a slight chance of some light rain. For the vast majority of the region, including major cities like Chennai, the message is pretty clear. The dry spell is sticking around for now.
So if today is dry, what about the next few days? Is this pattern going to hold? Let's see. Well, the short-term trend is pretty clear. For the next few days, especially in northern Tamil Nadu, it's going to be more of the same, dry weather. But, and this is an important but, there is a little flicker of hope. As we start looking towards the 15th and 16th, some of the models are suggesting a potential window could open up for some light rain to make a comeback. But what if we want to look even further ahead? I mean, trying to predict the weather 2 weeks out is incredibly difficult, but meteorologists have a really powerful tool for it. Let's see what it's telling us. And it all starts with this number, 54. Now, this isn't just some random figure. 54 represents the number of different simulations or members that a supercomputer runs to create what's known as an ensemble forecast. This is a total game changer. Think of it this way. Instead of asking one single expert for their best guess, you ask a whole panel of 54 experts. Each expert starts with slightly different information. And if most of them end up predicting rain, your confidence in that forecast just skyrockets. That's what ensemble forecasting is all about. It's about probability, not a single rigid prediction. And here is what that big panel of experts is telling us for the next 14 days. The models are showing the highest agreement, the highest consensus for returning rain over Cuddalore and the Delta districts. That probability gets lower as you move south and further inland. So this doesn't give us a definite date, but it does give us a strategic map of where the monsoon is most likely to revive first.
Okay, this brings us to a really crucial final point. I'm sure many of you have noticed that the forecasts have been changing pretty significantly from one day to the next. So let's tackle why this happens, especially during this season. Well, the simple truth is that tropical weather is inherently chaotic. It's messy. The waves and systems that bring us rain, they aren't these neat, orderly things. They're disorganized and they're highly sensitive to tiny changes. So when a forecast changes, it's not that the model was wrong yesterday. It's that the model today has new, better data about a system that is fundamentally unpredictable. And that leads us to the single most important takeaway from this whole explainer. Given just how chaotic the monsoons can be, long-term predictions can often be misleading. If you want the most accurate, the most actionable information, you should always prioritize the short-term outlook, what's happening in the next 72 hours. That is where the confidence is always highest. So we end with this thought, don't we? We have these incredible ensemble models running on supercomputers, giving us probabilities weeks in advance. And yet, the most reliable way to navigate the monsoon is still to pay close attention to the here and now. It's just a fascinating reminder of the beautiful, complex, and still very wild nature of our atmosphere. Stay informed, stay curious, and we'll see you on the next explainer.